Welcome to an all-new episode of GVN Sports. I know it's a different day than we usually do it on, but the world was almost ending yesterday, so it required a change of course. Uh, so
Now
do
we're
not
calling
mind
it.
us. I mean, it was as close as it's gonna get, right? Like that was oof. That was panic. That was the episode of SpongeBob where all the versions of him were exploding inside of his brain. That's what was happening. Okay. So we've managed 2 SpongeBob name drops in back-to-back episodes. Bravo,
All right.
SpongeBob. Bravo. But we are here tonight to talk about sports and sports only. All right. So we gave you all that geekdom yesterday and the day before. Today, sports. But before we jump into our plethora of topics, let's start off with introducing the panel. Starting off first, Didge. What's up, Didge?
Oh, not much. Ready to actually talk sports this time.
Yeah, man. That was like the craziest thing. I'm in my mind. I'm like, all right, how am I gonna like delicately break down the Watson stuff and all of
Yeah.
that? And it's just like, bow, and I'm like, oh well, poof, this is worse. Like, this, this is a lot more nerve wracking.
That can hold off. Let's
Yeah,
talk this first.
Push that to the side. But my brother from the same mother, but different mothers. Joel, what's going on, brother?
Namaste.
I love it. The bringer of peace. I love it. All right, let's start off with, as we said before, the Deshaun Watson stuff. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it out. Apparently, the ruling came down that Deshaun Watson will serve a 6-game suspension, albeit reports came out today, maybe yesterday afternoon into today, but definitely today, Adam Schefter was reporting. Apparently, the NFL wants indefinitely. They want this motherfucker suspended indefinitely. All right. Now,
And they're going to appeal, I guess.
Yes, they're gonna appeal it. Which is so weird. Like, could you picture if like your parents said, like, hey, tonight you choose dinner. You're like, oh shit, okay. You promise. They're like, yeah, wherever you want to go, we're doing it. And then you come out of left field and you're like, I want Chuck E. Cheese pizza. And then they're just like, oh, I didn't think you were gonna say something stupid. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Like, no, of course not. So like, you gave this judge power, right, to give you their opinion on how many games he should serve. You looked at the judge and then went, not enough. Sorry. we maybe shouldn't have listened to you. Like,
the NFL, and this is maybe not the best case to bring that up on, but the NFL, their appeal process is weird because their whole thing was taking it to the outside. I guess like the judge was that we don't want it to look sketchy in that the NFL is the judge, jury, and executioner.
Right.
But then if the NFL decides to appeal, the person who decides on the appeal is either Roger Goodell or somebody he picks.
Right.
Which again makes you judge, jury, and executioner essentially.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, we gave you the illusion of choice.
And look, this isn't the first time, Didge. We saw what happened with Brady, right? And we saw what early this year or in the last year, they came out with more details like, well, he wasn't really guilty, but like we still had to give him the
You had to
game.
do something.
Yeah, and it's like, well, nah, I don't really understand that. Like, if he was guilty and you gave him 4 games, cool. But if you're saying that it seems like there's proof that he wasn't guilty, no, that just seems like you're like, well, we fucked up by jumping the gun, right? Because remember, that whole narrative of that whole investigation and shit was fueled by the Colts, who got foots shoved so far up their ass, they're still trying to pull it out, right? So they were very butthurt. They were Mark Cuban level butthurt. So they were like, something needs to be done. They can't be untouchable. And the NFL folded, right? They essentially folded. So to me, I kind of feel like this is the same kind of situation. 4 games, right, is something that somebody felt was fair. And then the NFL is like, you know what? I don't want the headache of them questioning me once he gets back. Why wasn't it more? What are you doing for the victims? So you know what? I'm going to put the narrative out there. I want him to serve indefinitely. And to me, it's like, if there was a possibility that he could only serve 6 to 8, why would you allow the Browns to even be able to sign him? Because how dumb does that make that organization look if it works and they do suspend him indefinitely?
Yeah, it's weird. Like I said, this is the situation at hand is so delicate because on the one hand, if there's up to 60? Was it 60 women they said he met with or something?
I feel like there was more.
So it's like with that, it's just once you get to that level, even before you get to that level, but it's like, what are we doing here? Something has to shake. I get that. I agree with that. But it's just like I don't know. Because nothing's going to be a right answer. Because
it's not. But I mean, and Shannon Sharp was saying this the other day. It's not completely wrong. I get how some people might take the sentiment and think like it's being sided with Deshaun, but it's due process, right? So if due process did its job and they found as though he was innocent to a degree, right? And then it's like, okay, NFL, you are given an opportunity to give out your brand of punishment, and you gave it to somebody else, and that person deemed 6 games, right? So, again, this is not from a defense standpoint, but if I'm Deshaun, I am very upset. You essentially were supposed to take yourself out of it, right, to allow this person to give ruling. They gave it, and now you're just like, that's not good enough for me. The same NFL that we just watched suspend Calvin Ridley for a full season for gambling, right? I look at it and I'm like, the NFL does sometimes tend to swing that sledgehammer very heavy, right? Into where sometimes you're just like, did Josh Gordon really need all that for weed?
But that's my point of why I said it's delicate, is because both of those examples happen, and this is way worse than both of those.
You could make a case that those 2 examples were victimless crimes.
And so that's why it's like, I get them saying, yo, 6 games can't be it. This is way worse than what we've already done. And if it is a case of we just needed to save face because we were overblown in those, it's dumb on their part. But it's kind of like that's just kind of the way life is, because you messed up before. I get you gotta keep your integrity intact. I mean, it doesn't help that the NFL doesn't have a great history with, keeping these type of crimes, I guess held accountable to a great degree. So that doesn't help things. You know
what scares me a little bit, Didge, and Joel, I want you definitely to chime in here. You know what scares me? The fact that this was the ruling for this lets me know that if Ray Rice wasn't caught on video, he would have only gotten 6 to 8 games.
Yeah.
If it was a he say, she say, they would have only given him 6 to 8
Matter of fact, no, Ray Rice only got 2 games. He ended up, I think, appealing or something. He's officially on record only having 2 games. He just got cut and no team ever signed him again.
Oh, that is what happened. Oh my God, that's even worse.
So even
because if you think back to that video was daunting. It was just like,
it was bad.
Wow,
he hooked her.
Wow,
he hit her.
I mean, wow, and it didn't even look defensive, right? Like I'm just trying to get at it. It looked very much just like, all right, if it's me or you, you go. It's just like that was a horrible look for the NFL. It just was. It just really was. So, like you said, it's not really a way to come out clean, but it's a way to come out to where your dignity is intact, right? To where your dignity is never questioned, to where you're siding with the people you essentially should be siding with. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I don't know, but I will say this. If I'm the Browns and he does get suspended indefinitely and I still have to pay him, God bless. God bless.
They deserve it, dumbasses.
I don't disagree. I do not disagree. I don't. Remember, the whole contract was guaranteed. The whole contract.
Well, if he gets suspended, I think that nulls that.
Does it?
I would assume so.
Because I feel like when they signed him knowing he was gonna be suspended for some time. And I kind of feel like if you're Deshaun, you knew you were going to get suspended for some time. So it's like, wouldn't you have maybe put language in there that maybe defended that?
They got balls.
Let's see. I'm looking it up now. I can't imagine. Then it's definitely dumb on their part.
I have to imagine that if you're Deshaun Watson, you don't allow there to be a clause that says if I'm suspended a season, I get no money. like I have to imagine his lawyer or whoever was just like, well, no, you're ballsy enough to sign him. Everything comes with it.
Right.
Like everything, suspension, prison, whatever, whole thing. Whole thing. He might have to do longest yard up in prison for y'all or something, but hey, fuck it. You gave it to him. Yeah, you did it. You did it. Crazy. So I am very curious the language of that contract. I don't think, Didge, that's something we could find the true language of that contract. But again,
he would keep his signing bonus, which
if he was suspended.
So they were saying that. So this was based off of the 6-game suspension.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have kept his $45 million signing bonus, and the salary for this year, if he would have played just every game after that, he would have essentially made $45.6 million this year, where his salary would have been $46 million this year, of which 45 of that would have been a signing bonus. So, and I think that's why the NFL is also looking for a major fine a part of this, because that signing bonus, it's not attached to whether your game's played. You're on the roster as of this day.
Yep. So again, like I said, if you're the Browns, this is a fuck situation for so many reasons, right? Because you can't cut him if he's suspended indefinitely, because then you'll look like a bigger dumbass for letting Baker Mayfield walk, and now you're just stuck with Jacoby Brissett for your foreseeable future, right? You put all that money, you got Amari Cooper, you bolstered up that defense, you re-signed guys to that defense because you knew our quarterback position was taken care of.
Yeah,
God bless. Hey,
yeah.
I tell you what, Nick Chubb, there's a specific running back in the league right now who you could make an argument got completely used up because of the quarterback situation. Joel, you know which running back I'm thinking of. You know which one. You know Saquon Barkley was put in a very unfair situation from Jump Street. That man was asked to become fucking Herschel Walker coming out of college.
He also was fragile.
I won't argue that. I won't argue that at all. I won't. So I mean, look, if you're the Browns, like we said, you put yourself in this situation, you could have waited, right? Because to me, it's like if somebody else was willing to be that stupid, by all means, right? You wanna outbid yourself? Go ahead. Because remember, his only other landing spots were like Atlanta, New Orleans, right?
And everybody seemed okay with waiting to see how this played out.
Right. They were willing to wait. Right. And the Browns were just like, you know what's so funny about them jumping, and we're going to move on? They jumped as if they had no fucking quarterback. Like they had nothing on the roster, and they were like, well, we need something.
Oh, well, Baker's not much.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
Dude, you are just so... Baker and Daredevil. I don't know what beef you have against them. But one day I need Baker Mayfield to become Daredevil. And then
then it would just be all over. Daredevil could redeem himself. Baker Mayfield, I don't know.
What are you going to say, Joel?
I was going to say, there's a quarterback in Carolina named Sam Darnold that might be available.
I mean, shit, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be available.
For sure.
Like, you might have options.
He's for sure available. They've already said that is Trey Lance.
Garoppolo is definitely probably the better bet, honestly. But I don't know. They got a lot of money invested in this motherfucker, so
they sure do.
Yeah,
they sure do.
A fully guaranteed contract. It's they didn't do their due diligence.
Hey, you might have a Joakim Noah situation on your hand where you just got to pay this motherfucker. Hey, I got to pay you and Jimmy G. One of y'all ain't playing, but fuck it. Hey, it's the bed we made. But speaking of getting paid, Deebo Samuel and DK Metcalf strike huge new deals to stay with their respective teams. Again, I don't believe that because you sign these mega contracts, it assures that you stay with your team. I do like the language that Deebo Samuel put in his contract, though, that he gets paid extra anytime he's used as a running back. I love that. I love that. I said, okay, Deebo, so you're essentially telling them, hey, use me like toilet paper, but just know you're paying a hefty fucking fine.
That's smart. Right? I didn't even see that in this contract. That's very smart.
I'm like, that's genius shit. I'm going to be honest with you. If I was Deebo, I would have said, hey, you want to use me at running back 75% of our playbook? I want to get paid more than the actual fucking running back.
Yeah, if you're going to pay me 2 positions, I want to get paid.
I want to get paid, like I'm paying 2 positions.
Yes, I want to get paid receiver money and then running back money, right? But I want it to be fair for your books, I want it to be, I only get paid running back money if you use me as a running back, right? Like you don't have to just pay me overall.
I get a raise every time you use me as a running back.
Yes. So it makes you think twice of like, fuck, it's 3rd and 1. Do I pay him? Like, do I pay him? Or do
at that point, yeah. You're like, it's on the owner now. So
he'll be cool. He'll be cool. Pay running back.
Just
running. They gotta look up. We good? I'm running.
He's looking at his agent. Did they pay? They pay? All right, we good. Nah, I'm just good. I'm
the check clear?
Right back here.
All right. I'm up there.
Good. All right, I'm heading back there.
Direct deposits. Shit.
Right. I like this. I like this deal for both of these guys because I believe that they're very friendly and tradable contracts. And here's the main reason why I think that neither one of these guys will stay on their teams. You're looking at one side of the field where a guy will be thrown to by Trey Lance, who has had to change how he throws as an NFL quarterback.
They are high on Trey Lance, though.
Didge, they sold their soul and their firstborn to get him. You can't be anything but high on this motherfucker. Like, you can't be low. You can't be low. Right? So it's like, well, hey, fuck it. Look, NFC Championship game, we know you just took us there, Jimmy G. But at some point, this motherfucker's got to play. Like, we just have to. We gave too much up to get him. Right? So to me, it's like Trey Lance is throwing to Deebo Samuel. At some point, that will become a problem for Deebo Samuel. It just will. We have to face that, right? The man has said he doesn't want to be a running back all that much. Put a clause in to kind of assure that you won't necessarily use him that much as running back, right? So he's going to want a quarterback that can get him the fucking ball. You telling us coming out of training camp that this guy has to change the way he throws is wild to me.
I don't get why teams are letting such information like this get out.
And look, you know what? It's better for it to come out now than for us to watch September 15th or whenever the season starts, and we're looking at this motherfucker like,
was that how he used to throw?
Like, what is this that he's doing? That's not how you throw a football. So to me, hey, fuck it. Maybe that puts pressure on him to get better.
Maybe.
But so you got Trey Lance on one side, right? And then you got the fucking kid from the Broncos, Drew Lock. Throwing to fucking DK Metcalf.
Yeah, he's definitely the worst. He's definitely the worst situation of the two. Like,
you know, like, I mean, we talked about Bradley Beal being loyal, but this might be dumber. Like, this might be dumber. You don't have, like, you can't put the ball in your own hands.
I don't even think they have a defense like at least Seattle used to be like, well, at least we got the defense that can try to keep us in games. I don't think they have the defense anymore.
They haven't had that for years. So they have not had that. So yeah, God bless you, Drew Lock. And look, Drew Lock, Russell Wilson had to run for his life. Let me say the name again. Russell Wilson had to run for his life. So if you think they're putting an offensive line around you,
well, I'm telling you right now, last time I checked, they had Geno Smith ahead of him. So
oof. Is it? I thought Drew Lock was there.
No, that was a competition.
Joel, I'll never forget that night we left the theater. And we were hearing about Geno Smith was on the field. He was balling out. And we were just like, what the fuck is happening to the world? The very next game, we were just like, oh, no, it caught up.
Geno Smith is listed as their starter right now.
Well, I think that's solely based off of Pete Carroll just knowing what Geno Smith brings to the table.
Yeah, it's basically 4 now.
It's your guy. So, like, Drew Lock would have to do unheard of shit to win it away from Geno Smith.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us believe that he would.
He's still getting more, but he's not even getting he's not even getting. It's not even equal first team reps. They're saying Geno Smith is getting the majority,
really?
And some people are saying overwhelming majority.
that makes sense. I might have seen some of them Bronco highlights and it's just like, oof. Yeah, like at least Geno was winning some games as a Jet, like some, right? Like he looked good at sometimes. Yeah. But I don't think this shocks any of us that these two guys got paid as much as they got paid. I just really don't think that this season ends with both of them staying on the same roster.
I hope not.
What do you think? You think it ends with them staying on the same roster?
I hope not, and that's why I was 50-50 happy about them getting the deals, because money will make a lot of players stay where they may not have a chance to win. So 100%. Just me being biased and hoping that one of them can get sent over to New England was like, did you really have to get paid right now? New England would have paid you,
At some point we would have, for sure. And look, this is a payday year for Jacoby, right? This is the second of a 3-year deal for Kendrick Bourne. Devontae Parker, I think, only has 1 or 2 years left. So nobody that we have as wide receiver on our roster, we can look at and go, no. They'll definitively be a part of our future. We got to see. So I'm like, yeah, I would have loved to have had fucking DK Metcalf.
But at the same time, definitely get paid. You guys they're both amazing wide receivers. You better get paid. You deserve.
They are arguably the best players on their roster. You could make an argument for Bosa in San Fran. You could, but I think DK Metcalf skill wise is easily the best player on that roster. 100%.
Oh, in Seattle, yes, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But all right. So again, Joel, do you think both of these guys stay on their respective teams?
The quarterback?
No. The receivers.
For now, yeah. I mean, eventually, maybe in the future. I mean, I don't really care if they stay or they don't stay. I don't know if they got paid. I think they're gonna stay for now. I mean, if things don't work out and there's a different outlook in the future, yeah, I could see the getting moved for assets, especially during like maybe
deadline.
Yeah, deadline or
draft.
Yeah, around the draft time.
Well, I say deadline more than draft, especially Seattle. If they're not doing well, and they're looking to just gear up for basically, I don't know if they feel like they're in rebuild mode or not. I would hope they.
I'm telling you right now, if they start slow with them quarterbacks, I'm not sure what future they think they have.
What I'm saying, I hope Seattle thinks that they're in rebuild mode. I hope they don't think that we're just a couple of players away. It'd be wild.
No way you lose Russell Wilson and replace him with Geno, and you're like, we're still right there. You weren't there with Russell, right? So okay, all right. But I will say this. I will say if you're San Fran and you're Seattle, you want to make sure you're doing everything you can to make a winning product, because I don't care what Davante Adams says. Davante Adams only left because he wasn't sure if Aaron Rodgers, how much longer he was going to be here. And that motherfucker saw that Kansas City game with Jordan Love. And he said, oh, fuck no. That guy's going to be throwing to me? Nah, it's okay. I'll go to Derek Carr. I go spend the rest of my life with Derek Carr. That's okay. Yeah,
which is weird because it's not like Derek Carr is that young.
No, but at least if you're Davante Adams, I'm sorry, you at least can say, all right, we can maybe put up some Super Bowl years, some possible Super Bowl years.
That was his team growing up too, right?
Yeah, him and Derek Carr are like best friends.
Yeah, they went to college together.
Yeah, plus they're close.
Yeah.
True that.
A lot of things did go in there, but I did see Davante Adams' face in that Chiefs game, and I was just like, nah, I feel you, man. You need Aaron. It's okay. It's all right. I get it.
Yeah, Derek Carr's 31, so it's like, yeah. Everybody's not playing the 40.
We'll see, because I'm still waiting for Russell Wilson to completely lose it, right? And the motherfucker don't look to be like he's slowing. Aaron don't look to be like he's slowing. None of these guys are. So,
yeah, that's true. I guess. Yeah, this is
the Tom Brady effect.
Yeah. Yep. Look, for Mike's sake, we hope Aaron Rodgers goes the Tom Brady route and can just play for forever. Right?
Yeah.
For his sake.
He's got to start doing the TB12 method, whatever the fuck.
He did do a lot. He did do a lot to change. I remember.
I believe, right?
I don't remember how many years ago it was now, but he was talking about how he gave up dairy. He did some other stuff.
He's like a vegan or something.
Yeah, obviously being in Wisconsin, they made it. He gave up dairy. Oh my god!
It's what we are here.
Right. I saw an article.
Cheese heads.
I saw an article earlier today. I was talking about how much he takes like ayahuasca now. Like I was like, all right, man.
Well, you gotta take care of yourself, man. They getting younger, so.
But ayahuasca, isn't that like that's the one that has the DMT in this? I don't know how that's taking care of you. I think he's just tripping on that. It's like that. It's like a hallucinogen.
Oh shit. Well, he's into spirituality, right? So,
right.
I mean, he showed up to practice the other day as Nicolas Cage. I mean, maybe that is working too well.
He's
maybe
like, I'm gonna film scenes of recreating Con Air.
All right, let's. Oh my god.
Oh, they had a whole thing about why he was dressed up as Nicolas Cage on the local news. Because they were tying Nicolas Cage movies together, and I forgot what the last one was, but it had something to do with Phoenix. And obviously the Super Bowl is in Phoenix this year. And they were saying like, oh, he's making a declaration now that Packers in Phoenix at the end of the year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Local media is wild.
They be hyping it, yeah, for sure.
They definitely need something to talk about.
Wisconsin.
So God bless them. All right,
we talk Bucks a lot, you know. 2-time champions.
Yeah, you keep making me want to throw up.
Bro, we have...
All right, so let's stay on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we're 2-time champions too, buddy.
Ours is way more recent.
Well, one of them is, not two of them did. Don't you spread
not
that lie.
In 10 for 20 years from now, I'll tell you right now.
We'll own that title, Didge. We'll get to 3 before you do.
As soon as we get the title, we're going to
we can potentially win number 3 this year.
I did, wait, really quickly before we move on to our next topic. I did tell my aunt that today. We were talking about like how like the world would look when certain teams win championships. And I was definitely saying if Philadelphia did that when the Eagles won, right?
Oh my God! Keep in mind, the Sixers win.
But keep in mind what Knicks fans did after winning Game 1. Listen, of season, right? Of the regular season. Game 1, they tore that city apart, right? So it's like if they won a championship,
use the video footage from that same game.
If the Knicks won the championship, I can tell people this because I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, with Donald Trump, the purge could happen." If the Knicks win the championship, that alarm is sounded. The purge has begun. If the Knicks win the championship, hide everybody, okay? Nobody's safe.
Hide the kids.
Nobody is safe. Like, the world is gone, okay? We will be... Joel, I even said, me and you don't even drink. Drinking will be the least of our concerns if the Knicks win the championship.
Remember that movie Escape from New York? That's what people will be doing.
Hilarious.
Like fairy tales will happen. The Ninja Turtles will come out of the sewers. Like a whole bunch of crazy shit will go down.
Manhattan if the Knicks win the championship. Will definitely be its own country at that point.
100%. We will turn into the Dark Knight Rises. That is exactly what New York.
Blow up the bridges, isolate ourselves.
We won't allow anybody in here to come to New York.
Yep.
It'll be fucking pandemonium. That's all I'm saying. That's all
hilarious.
I'm saying. So, yeah. NBA, keep doing your job of trying to keep us in the basement.
It's going to look like the Batman's going to be flooded. We're going to be on top of the garden.
You're going to see. Wait, and then, Joel, when it all kind of calms down, you'll just randomly see that statue of Donovan Mitchell like they had of the Batman. It's going to be pandemonium. It's going to be crazy out here, guys. It's going to be crazy. All right, let's move on.
That was their first win in like 80 years.
Yes. You will see so many Knicks fans that are like, I wasn't alive when we won the last championship. This is everything.
It's going to be on par with the Cubs winning the World Series.
It might be worse. It might be worse because at least after they won, it seems like they're on a path to where they can maybe get back to winning again, right? The Knicks were just like, we fucked up. And we don't know how to stop fucking
I was in Chicago for when they won that.
How was it?
It was crazy. Like I'm not even a baseball fan, but I was at like one of my friends' house she was a huge baseball fan, so they're all going nuts.
That had to feel good though. Especially
the party was fun. Like the partying was amazing. Like we went down to Wrigleyville. We were at Wrigleyville afterwards. It was
they
packed.
talk about that a lot down there. It's like the Cubbies. We need to win the series, bro.
It was that partying was probably some of the best times that I had. But like I said, it didn't mean as much to me because I'm not a Cubs fan, and I'm not even a real baseball fan. So I was just more so like, this is amazing. I'm just loving the party. People are there in tears. I waited so long. I waited my entire life. My grandma never saw this, and I'm just like, yeah, but this beer is great though.
Right? Like, anybody else drinking here?
Oh, poor grandma.
But all right, let's stay with the Aaron Rodgers conversation. Joel, I will start off with you. The man is coming off of back-to-back MVP seasons, right? The man does have, outside of Justin Herbert, the best hair in the NFL, right? So my question to you goes, is Aaron Rodgers today the best quarterback in football?
That's a very tough question.
It is.
Normally, I would say yes.
Then why is it no?
Because he's getting older. And I want to say that hurts. Because even Tom Brady, who was the GOAT, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hurting him now. Because he didn't go all the way last year. He could, And yeah, he's just as effective. It's not like he sucked last year. He didn't.
I was gonna say, if falling off for your skill level was only made it to the NFC Championship game,
but no, but to be fair, Brady was the Buccaneers having a competent safety away from that game, maybe ending differently. Remember, they left the middle of the field wide open to Cooper Kupp. Mm-hmm. Like they blitzed, and then they forgot like the receivers can like run, like they still go right, like they don't have to stay there. So, again, Brady was, like, right there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, one game away from the NFC Championship. And we know Brady would have thrived against Jimmy Garoppolo. That man looks to shit down that kid's throat any chance he gets, right? So, I'm like, I don't even know what the falling off point is for old quarterbacks anymore. I miss the days where you looked at Peyton Manning and you're like, oh, my God, you are fucking horrible. Retire, right? Now it's just like, well, you didn't make the Super Bowl, retire. And it's like, well, I was close. It's like, well, shit, yeah, that's true.
Well, how old is Brady?
Brady is
44, 45?
45.
Okay. Holy shit.
Today's his birthday.
That's right, he's 45. Damn, 45. 40, think about that. 45. Yeah. And still balling.
Yeah.
Fake
I know people at 35 that are holding their back, and this guy's right. 45. I get tackled for a living. Yeah.
He looks good still. You know what I mean? It's not like he's falling off or got uglier. Like, funny thing, he's like fine wine. That son of a bitch.
Literally, the defining meaning of fine wine. Like the man won't look older, like get ugly, nothing. Like something needs to be in a decline, bro.
At least Aaron Rodgers looks like he ages. I can't say 100%. About it. His game is still there, but man, I don't know if I can say he's the best. I wouldn't know who to put on top of him though.
That's my point. That's why I started off by saying back-to-back MVPs. Like again, I get it. Didn't win the championship. Didn't even get close. I get it.
That doesn't make it
back-to-back. But back-to-back MVPs. To me, an MVP means you were the best player in football. That's 2 consecutive years. Like, that's crazy. So that's why I asked the question, because I'm like, an argument could be made for no or yes. Like, it could be. So, Didge, it goes to you now. And just be careful. Remember the state that you live in. But it's Aaron Rodgers.
You're wearing Bucks gear.
Right.
I mean, I was going to say yes regardless.
Okay, good.
I think it's the one thing that people bring up is, oh, well, how is he going to be without Devontae Adams? Mm-hmm. So I looked that up. He has a higher completion percentage. He throws slightly more interceptions. And by that, I mean he averages It was 0.2 without him, 0.3 with him. Or 0.2 with him, 0.3 without him. He doesn't throw interceptions like that.
Man doesn't.
And his QB rating is actually better without him. So Granted, this is obviously in a case of only 11 games, but still, we haven't seen that metaphorical drop off that everybody claims is going to happen without him.
It's just a different day and age, man. We can't predict with these guys anymore like we used to.
Nope.
So I think, like you said, he's coming off of 2 MVPs, and he still plays in the NFC North. So again, he's going to torch them for 6 games. I don't know what the rest of their schedule is, but like I've been saying, he's probably going to win 12 or 13 games, probably win MVP again, and then have a second round exit again. That's my prediction for the Packers season.
I mean, no. You were hitting on all the points you made.
All the cylinders, Didge.
All cylinders. But I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to have to say no, and only because the man that seems to always have his number did not actually retire. So I'm like, I feel like as long as Tom Brady breathes air in the same conference that you were in, that motherfucker's king. Like, he's king. You haven't dethroned him.
His quarterback played, and he beat him out for MVP last year.
Well, for sure, 100%.
Individually.
We do know a lot of what goes into that. So I'm fine with that. I'm 100% fine with that. And I don't disagree in the notion of, but he won MVP, so doesn't that make him better? Problem is, when you go head to head against the guy, kind of seems like it's one-sided, right? So it's like, I can't deem you as the best when the guy that a lot of people feel is the best, you just can't seem to beat, right? Like, you just can't seem to get over that hump.
I mean, it doesn't help that their teams aren't exactly equal right now either. Like
I would argue those teams were equal when Aaron Rodgers faced them in the NFC Championship. They were as equal 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Gage? Isn't that when Brady won that title 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
You thought they were 2 years ago?
100%. They both got to NFC Championship. I'd argue rather easily. The Buccaneers had completely hit their stride. And the Packers were looked at as one of those, like, you're going to have to get past the Packers. And the Buccaneers said, okay.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. They did not. It was 2 years ago. You're right.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's the... Well, I guess a year, because technically the season hasn't started. It was 2021.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to look at it that way, yeah.
Still 2 years.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago.
It didn't start yet.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Didge. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was looking at their head-to-head. They only played 5 times.
Right.
It's 3-2. With this last one making it 3. So I can't say always beats them.
So they were 500 until this recent matchup.
I would make the because I remember those days, him beating the Patriots. One of those was when Dan Conley got the kickoff return and he almost ran it back. I remember that. We lost that game. That's also what I remember. But I remember Brady more recently beat him in New England.
Shitty ass division.
And then he's beaten him in since he's been in Tampa, I believe.
Yeah, I guess one of these you probably can't count because I think Aaron Rodgers was on the bench for this. Because they're just showing when both of their teams played each other.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is for Ditch, who lives in the area of the Wisconsins. All right, you're not a Packer fan, but I have to imagine you know what team you hate the most in Wisconsin.
Probably it's tough between the Bears and the Vikings. It's tough. I would say Bears, but there's a lot of hate for the Vikings, especially after I forgot who it was on the Vikings, but when he broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone, that didn't help things. So there's a lot of more recent bad blood there, and the Bears just frankly they just get their ass kicked by the Packers every time. So at least the Vikings get some wins in here and there.
And it's like a lot of pity for the Lions, right? I'm saying.
Yeah, the Lions. I think they're just there.
That's kind of how it is in New York. Where like we hate the Cowboys, the Eagles, and we don't like Washington, but it's more pity for the Commanders.
Yep. Even though it does sometimes get confusing because New York does tend to talk a lot of shit about Boston, and it's like, well, we don't even we're not anywhere
That's
near
just
you.
because
Like,
every other.
That's
That's
a
like every other.
rivalry.
That's everything else. That's that's
New York,
literally every other
Boston
sport.
New York cannot like, but it's just like it's embedded in the DNA of New York.
I know so many Boston people that were watching that when the Knicks came out with that video, and they were just like randomly, and fuck Tom Brady, and they were just like, hey, this is basketball. Like, how did he even make it into this conversation? With New York, it's
That
just
happened to me. My friend lives in Boston. I called them after they lost that Super Bowl, and she said, "Fuck the Knicks." So look, it's not the point. The point is, like, I don't know what they had to do with it. Knicks still suck. That was what I got back.
That's it. That's what you always get when someone's upset. They go to whatever you like that's failing right now, and they just go, "Ha! What about that though? What about the topic at hand? Like, let's focus there."
Not even a real Patriots fan. Hater.
But yeah. So I'm going with Tom Brady. Because again, I think when it mattered, he just seems to have had Aaron Rodgers' number, right? Even if you want to go just individual, not the full team success of the win, just how they individually did in some of these matchups. I think Brady has just gotten the better of him a little bit, not drastically, but just a little bit, a bit.
I'm gonna double check that. I don't know if that's accurate.
Especially recently.
I think you could definitely say that at least the last time they met in the NFC Championship game. At least that. Maybe not all time, but at least that.
And they're pretty close to.
They both threw 3 touchdowns. I know, obviously, the Packers had a comeback. So that's why Rodgers got some of his touchdowns.
No, didn't
late.
the Buccaneers have the comeback?
They were up big, and then Green Bay.
No, because remember, Brady had 2 big interceptions in the first half.
That was what helped Green Bay get back into it.
Ouch.
Oh, okay.
Tampa Bay was up 21-0 at halftime. I remember that game.
Ooh, yikes! Rodgers still lost that fucking.
And then
no, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't halftime. I know it was in the second quarter. It was bad.
Okay. Well, look, this is the year to prove it, right? This is another year to prove it. Tampa does not look like they've gotten worse, right? Packers might have a little bit. So this is the time to really showcase. Hey, regardless, I'm that dude. Potential 3-time in a row MVP.
It's tough for me to say someone isn't the best quarterback if you play 16 games and throw 4 interceptions.
No, I get you, but here's the argument to that, Didge. At any point last year, did you feel as though Jokic was a better basketball player than Giannis?
No, but I mean, that's biased.
Okay, I'm sorry.
100%
At any
biased.
point, did you think Jokic was better than Kevin Durant last year?
Playing better? There were points where I was like, man, Jokic is playing out of his mind.
There were points where I thought Durant was playing out of his mind.
There's also that. So it's. I get what you're saying.
I think you're discounting how good Jokic is.
No, I just value Giannis and Durant a lot more. Like I think Jokic is just that tier right below. I don't think Jokic is like miles below them. He's just.
I guess that's the difference though, because even if you're saying Brady is better, they're in the same tier. So that's going to be the difference.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I was just making that point just for what Joel was saying about Jokic. I agree. Brady and Aaron is right there. I don't think Brady wins it by a mile, but I do put the winning over. You know what I'm saying? Over. Like I know a lot of people
postseason wins. I can get that. Yeah, the postseason wins.
Because I know when a lot of people talk Brady versus Manning, people don't believe Brady's a better quarterback than Manning. But when you whoop the guy's ass so much, you kind of then go, well, when did he implement that he was better, right? Like, when was that shown, right?
Yeah, that's fair, man.
That's kind of where I go. That's kind of where I go. But again, it's no disrespect to Aaron Rodgers, because I tell you what, I take either one of them in a heartbeat at the current age. Not like 10 years ago. Right now, today.
Right now.
Today, I take them. Not over Mac Jones, but anyway. All right, so let's move on. Joel, I'm going to start with you on this because I am genuinely curious about this. Yes. The Giants are looking at to start a new regime. What is one thing they look to have improved on this offseason?
What are they looking to have improve on?
No. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. what is one of the things you believe they have improved on? Whether it's a signing, whatever the case may be, that really kind of is like, okay, they're heading in the right direction for this
It's
season.
too soon to really know that. I just know I like the guys we got so far. I like our coaching staff. I like what they've said. I haven't really been able to like actually watch the training, them practicing with pads on and everything. I've heard good things. I want to say we have potential. There's a lot of young potential, a lot of young guys I need to see step up. Because right now we're gonna have a lot of guys, young guys especially, getting big minutes. So it's really a matter of like, all right, so you guys plan on being here next year. I need you guys to step up. So I don't expect to do any real damage. I forget how many wins we had last year, 4. If we get like 7 this year, it's a fucking win. So I'm happy if we can just get there. But I just need to. I gotta see. It's hard to make that decision right now because we do have. I think we have a decent coach, even though it's his first. He's a rookie coach.
Mm-hmm.
I do like our offensive coordinator. I like our defensive coordinator. They have, pedigree.
You drafted a fucking stud, bro.
We have 2 studs. We have Neil and we have Thibodeau, and I want to see them ball out. But I need to see it. And that's one thing to say. Like the O-line is going to take a while. That's one thing. The O-line they have to build together. They have to grow together. That takes a little bit. I need to see Daniel Jones step up and be the quarterback. If he's gonna be the quarterback, this is the year where he's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley.
I'm so glad you explained this.
Wait, go ahead, Didge. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just the way that you had worded the question, I was thinking, reading it, I'm like, they're gonna start a new regime already? Like, didn't they just start? I was so confused until you started explaining it. I was like, oh, okay, now I get it.
I will say this, Joel. I'm gonna find who their beat writer, who are some of the Giants beat writers.
Yeah.
So I could, I can point them out to you, so you could start seeing like the highlights and stuff of training camp. Only because the importance of training camp. I know a lot of people are like, it's just training camp. Who gives a shit? A lot of what they said Mac Jones struggled with in training camp last year was very fucking evident in the actual regular season, right? Some of the throws that turned into interceptions were the same things you were hearing he was struggling against his own defense in training camp, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very important to me, especially with younger quarterbacks, that if they're saying they're struggling or that they're saying they're doing amazing, it counts for something. I'm not saying it's the whole shebang, but it does matter, right? Like if they're saying, oh, there's a standout that's shutting down your number one receiver every training or every practice or whatever, that means something. That means that guy might be a stud. Like you might have something with that cornerback, or that linebacker or whatever.
I totally get it. Like right now, I follow a couple of people that talk about it. I just, right now, as far as I can tell, he's having a good camp. He's not looked back. Holiday had a really good game, good day today. This guy, our rookie Wan'Dale Robinson, everyone was talking shit about because he's so small. He looks like he's gonna be do damage in this league. I do believe he's gonna do it. I like that kid. I knew as soon as they start talking shit, usually they play well. So I do look forward to seeing him play. He's been really good in camp. Our nickelback, Darnay Holmes, he's had a good camp so far. So I look forward to seeing him do well. Really, Dane Belton, he just got hurt, but that's a kid that we drafted that I want to see because I think that's a spot that's open. Because right now Jordan Love is going to start our strong safety, and I think that's open. That's an open spot. I think there's a couple open spots. Strong safety is an open spot. Right corner is an open spot. I'm going to say
that's half your defensive back.
Yeah.
I was about to say, my biggest question for you is who's your nickel corner and who's your slot corner. Those
nickel are my two right now. Holmes our slot. Shit.
Because it seems like teams are looking to attack the slot a lot. Like they're moving their main receiver into the slot. So you need to have a security blanket in your slot position for your
the rookie that was flat. That's another guy that's going to play in the slot. So we'll see.
And it's funny, Joel, because I was telling somebody, they're like, I don't understand what's so important about the slot position. Here's what's important, right?
What are you talking about?
Well, no. But here's the most important. I think people forget. Eli Apple in the Super Bowl was their fucking slot corner. That's why they kept putting Cooper Kupp in the slot. So he would get Eli. And what was the game-winning touchdown? On Eli Apple. it's very important to have a really good slot corner.
I agree.
Because if you don't, they'll slide their main receiver right into that slot position, and they'll work the shit out of you.
I totally agree.
So, and especially let a fucking team have more than one good wide receiver, then you're really fucked, right? Like the Bengals. They were able to move Jamar Chase all over the place because they had more than one weapon, right? So it's like you could put him in a slot a couple times. That's why you kept getting Jalen Ramsey on like these odd receivers, and he was getting burnt, right? Like he was just, oh shit, there's a lot of speed. I thought I was going to get physical with Jamar. This guy's fast. So to me, that's a very important position for us, Didge. That position was solidified by Jonathan Jones.
Yeah.
And when he got injured, that hurt a lot because that was the glaring empty space we had that we kept filling with the Miles Bryants and shit like that. And we were getting torched, right?
Yeah.
You go CeeDee Lamb, that game we lost against the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, you could argue Jalen Mills was trying to be the slot corner and failed, right? So it's like it's very important you have a slot corner, sometimes more so than anything else as far as corner. That position, because they'll move their receivers, especially these small guys, that they can just move. They can option, and they just move.
Have you not been paying attention to what the Giants have been doing in their training camp so far?
Yeah, I just told you a couple of things. You want more?
No, I'm just saying, at the beginning, he was saying, I guess, I get that. So I thought maybe you just read it now.
No. That was off the top of my head.
Oh, because at the beginning, he was talking about how he would, connect you with Giant Beach Writer. Like to let you know.
I know because he assumed I wasn't paying attention. I was.
Okay.
I'm not like I wasn't. I didn't know you really wanted to break it down.
No, that's fair. I heard that, and I'm like, okay, clearly he's just because I started researching too at the same time. I'm like, okay, so clearly he's just reading it now.
No, that's a lot of that's off the top of my head.
That's good. Then
with football is probably the only sport that I actually watch the truest form of off season heading into like training, because like basketball training camp means absolutely nothing to me, right? Like it's just like okay, like you dunked on like your teammate who won't make the roster. I don't think you could do that against Giannis, right? So it's like it doesn't necessarily equate, but if your quarterback is just struggling in training camp, right? You kind of feel as though there's no way he'll just magically get it better, right? You know what I'm saying?
Sort of the same thing.
I usually only pay attention for depth chart, like who's starting, who's like first team, second team. That's usually why if I pay attention, like because I like to know who's gonna start and who's. That's why I always ask you fuckers who's starting for the Patriots, because I want it to match up with what I have. And
that's the thing. Why? I was listening to it earlier again when I was listening to the same thing when Aaron Rodgers was talking about the ayahuasca. He was saying that's why he thinks teams should value their training camps and practices more than preseason, because you're going to always be first team against first team in practice. Yep. It's not going to be first team and then yes, you got first team for maybe 2 or 3 plays, but it's really just to get them warmed up and then they're out of there.
Right.
It's one of those things. I was just curious about that, and obviously, while I was doing the research on the Giants beat writers, I clearly missed you saying, "Oh, this is off the top of my head." Then,
Jordan, I follow Jordan. If you're gonna follow somebody, it's a good guy.
Oh, I don't follow any Giants beat writers.
I know. I'm just telling you. If you're gonna give me one, I already have one in mind.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
But no, I mean, look, even to what you were saying about starters and who's coming off the bench or whatever, there were a lot of people that went into last year going, "Well, Cam Newton's the starter." In training camp is what lost him his job. Yeah, I was
right?
Gonna say, so it's like again,
was the starter.
Right. That's how important training camp is. And again, the biggest thing I look for in training camp are the hidden gems, right? Like those guys that don't have the name, but they're trying to build it. Josh Uche is comes to mind, Didge, for us. That's a guy last year that you heard a lot of good things about in training camp, right? And then he started to implement it during the season, but injuries kind of derailed it a lot. This year, it's what's his name? Barmore. Apparently, Barmore is like Lawrence Taylor on the field. They're saying he's dominating every practice. Practice. Yeah, our nose tackle.
I guess the one I guess no, you're talking mainly defense though. Then
oh yeah.
I was gonna say because the name I've been seeing and everybody I follow has been Kendrick Bourne just when somebody said he's gonna have a Deebo Samuel year, I was like, let me see.
Oh, that's my question.
Let me
Who's
see.
your OC? Do you
Let
guys
me
officially have an OC yet?
No,
They said they won't name one.
Seriously?
They won't name one. It's essentially Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia, because he's apparently calling the plays.
Matt Patricia, really?
But Matt Patricia did come out and say that there's a set playbook.
Oh,
right?
okay.
There's a set playbook, so it's not necessarily that he's calling the plays. Bill just has a book of this is what you do.
He is
Don't do anything else.
He's pointing and they're doing.
So I'll pretty much put it like this for anyone watching this. So if you look on the sidelines, right, where it looks like Mac Jones is changing a play, if you're gonna look to somebody who's initiating that change for Mac, it'll be Bill more so than anybody else on that fucking coaching staff. It'll be Bill that's just like, no, do this, don't do that, and Mac will change it. I don't think you'll look at Matt Patricia like putting something over his mouth and saying something, and then Mac Jones audible. No, it'll probably be Bill. Because essentially Bill made the book,
right?
Told Matt Patricia and Joe Judge how to implement that said book. So that's why I'm saying I don't think they have an offensive.
It's good. What's it called? Good experience for especially Joe. You know?
I guess it's weird. It's still weird to me, and it's not the first time that the Patriots have done it. So, but every time it's just like this is still.
It is
weird.
the first time on offense, and to me, defense is fine because your head coach is one of the greatest defensive coaches of all time. So it's fine when you go, I don't have an actual defensive coordinator because I'm the guy, right? But on offense, knowing that offense is not his specialty, it is very glaring when you're like, there's not one person that you trust to just run this offense. That's weird. And it's between a defensive coordinator and a wide receiver coach? Okay. Well, I tell you what, if he's looking to win Coach of the Year, this is the year to do it. Where he comes and puts his cojones on the table and goes, I called the plays for offense and defense, and we were the third seed, made the playoffs. Like, that's what it seems like he's queuing up.
Have they named defensive coordinator? Because I haven't heard that either. I think and nobody cares because of it's Bill.
Because the rumor has it his son runs it, but he has not officially named somebody either.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say, I remember hearing it once, and then nobody said anything else about it because we've all been focused on offense. And I'm like, did I just miss the defense one, or we just don't care because it's Bill? We'll figure it out.
That also. But let's head into Patriots. Mac Jones in the offense struggle in 11-on-11s. There's been a lot of struggles with that defense shutting down. Now, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of Devontae Parker burning Malcolm Butler. There's been a lot of Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry burning Kyle Duggar, who I believe will be a standout in that secondary this year. Kyle Duggar is a fucking monster. He is a hybrid of the highest degree. I think he will establish himself being up there with the safeties, the bigger name safeties in this league. But there has been some struggles with Mac Jones in this offense. And I heard Mike Reese, who is the beat writer for the Patriots, somebody you guys should follow if you are a Patriots fan. Mike Reese was saying the problem the Patriots were having in a lot of these 11-on-11s, same problem they had last year. They can't get separation. And for the life of me, I don't understand how you're a wide receiver and you can't get the one thing you need. You need the separation to get open. How do you not have that? I'll never understand that. None of them were getting separation for a lot of these practices. I don't understand. I really don't. To me, that is very confusing. That's like saying the quarterback can't get the ball 40 yards. You can't get it 40 yards? The fuck do you think your job is? Like, what do you think your job is here? You got to at least get it 40, 45. So my question to you is, Didge, who has more pressure on their shoulders this year? Mac Jones or Bill Belichick?
So my gut reaction when I first saw this was to say Mac Jones. But I kind of want to say Bill.
Okay. I wouldn't think you were wrong.
I think it's been because obviously when Brady left, I think it all goes back to that. When Brady left, it was always, well, did Bill make the man or did the man make Bill?
Yep.
And Brady won after that.
Right after that.
right after that.
Right after that.
Whereas we've been sort of, yes, we had a playoff run, but I would say middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you can ever take anything away from Bill Belichick being a legend of a coach or any of that. But you do start to have some cracks in that and think, well, he's a legendary, he's an amazing coach made legendary because of the QB he had. Whereas, yes, he's a Hall of Fame coach, first ballot Hall of Famer, always one of the greatest head coaches. But the thing that made him the best was having that QB. And that's where, and I'm not saying that it's true or not, but that's where you start, those questions hold a little bit more weight now than they would have 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think it's starting to be a little bit more pressure on him, because you still, now people can legitimately question your legacy to an extent. Whereas before it was, why are you questioning this? You can't question that.
Right.
Whereas Mac Jones, it's his second year. He's still young enough where it's like you're still having your growing pains.
Yeah.
That's fair. No, that is fair. I think where I was pushing back, Didge, as you were saying that, where I was pushing back is, again, yes, we do know that Tom Brady is at least 50 to 55% of New England's success over the last 2 decades. My only issue with that is a lot of the Super Bowls this motherfucker won, he just had to get past 14 points, right? Now, you did bring up, obviously, the Eagles game where he dropped the all-time playoff record in yards, and I think he got like 38 points. Right, the Super Bowl against the Panthers, he got pretty high up there.
Yeah, 29 that one.
Right, but most of these Super Bowls, he just had to get past 14 points. That is slightly almost unheard of, right? Like, think about it. That's very difficult for a head coach, right, or a defensive coordinator, or whatever you want to classify Bill as, to keep an offense. Some of the best offenses. Think about what the Rams. Wrong. Think about what the Rams did. More recent Rams, Aaron Donald.
10-3 game.
Yes. Think about what the Rams did. They had a 40 or 50-point game against the Chiefs that year, and Bill held these motherfuckers to below 14. You're not wrong.
And that's why I said it's not a complete destruction of his legacy, because I think you would still have to, if you're saying the best coach of all time, you're still more likely than not have to say him. But somebody who's saying, well, was it Tom Brady? That holds a little bit more weight now, especially because, like we just said, the man left the team the very next year, was hoisting the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah.
So it's...
I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree. But to me, I view that the same way as Kawhi left Pop and went immediately and won in Toronto. But nobody ever questions, did Pop make Kawhi or did Kawhi make Pop? That's just something that's just unequivocally.
That's different because we know Kawhi didn't make Pop because Pop had Duncan, Pop had Ginobili, Pop had Parker, Pop had David Robinson. Like, Pop has done it with so many other players. This is Belichick's first chance to do it, and in the three years or so since, it's been middle of the road. We've had just one play, two.
Yeah,
this will be the third year. Right. Yeah, this will be the third year.
Because remember, we had Cam 1 year, Mac 1 year, and then that's his Mac again.
Yeah. So, but in the 2 years, it was no playoffs, first round exit.
Yeah, I feel you. To me, I'm putting the pressure.
Mac is young. It's second year. I just can't put more pressure on him than your coach if it's your second year.
But that's why I put the pressure on Mac, because if you're Bill, right? Let's say the Patriots don't make the playoffs. Are we questioning everything that happened before Tom Brady left? No, because that legacy is solidified. I think we're also forgetting one of the Giants Super Bowls, he was the architect of that defense.
So you're saying pressure as in who's going to have to get rid, because they're not getting rid of either one of them.
No, I don't know. Robert Kraft came out and said, I am tired of losing. So he very much sounded like, hey, a loser might be because of you, homeboy. Like, you might have to go.
I don't see that. Like if they underperform this year, and I don't know what expectations fully are. I would assume it's playoffs at least since we went last year.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't make playoffs, I can't see them saying to either one of them, "You're out."
No, but I do think you take a closer look at what Mac Jones's truest ceiling is, right? Because we're seeing so many of these young quarterbacks in their second year take massive fucking leaps, right? And I'm talking about just pure ability, right? Because Justin Herbert didn't make the playoffs last year. But is there any question that Justin Herbert will become a top 5 quarterback within the next few years, if not this year? No, right? There's no question to that. There is questions for where, because you were even saying you believe in Trevor Lawrence. You wholeheartedly believe in Trevor
I do still
Lawrence,
believe in Trevor Lawrence.
right? So you don't think that last year is an indictment on his character. You believe the ceiling is still very high.
Very bad
right?
coaching staff.
Yeah, that's
no. I
Jags.
Yeah, I understand.
They put him in probably the worst situation you could.
That was very bad.
No, I think Justin Fields was in the worst situation. There was no offensive line.
Was that still Gase? Not Gase. I forgot who their coach is.
Remember, Justin Fields started the year with a head coach who refused to play him.
Not Bears.
I forgot who their coach was last year.
I don't know. Now it's Eberflus. Eberflus.
I think it was still. Matt Nagy.
There was Nagy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nagy?
Okay, that's what I couldn't remember his name. That's what it was. Who I thought it was.
So to me, like I said, the pressure is on Mac because this is where you start to solidify who you are as a quarterback, right? I'm not saying he needs to come out and be the MVP of the league, but you do need to take a drastic step forward because the last time we saw you play football, the Bills made you look as though you were still in high school, and they just let you come out and play with your older brother for a day, right? And you just got your ass beat. But, so to me, it's like you do need to make that step further.
A lot of people, like that Bills defense. That Bills defense might have been. It was top 5 in the NFL. It might have been top 3, and that Bills defense was amazing last year.
I don't disagree with that, but to me, I watched Patrick Mahomes face that same defense and drop way more than Mac Jones and the Patriots did in that game. And you could argue that Chiefs defense ain't shit.
So are you saying a rookie should have played like former MVP Pat McCombs?
No, you're saying no. You're saying no. Hold on.
You just gave though.
No, but hold on. Your point was he played a top 5 defense. My response to that was, well, so did Patrick Mahomes. It didn't really seem to stop him.
MVP play, like that's what I'm saying.
But if a defense is that elite, you're talking about it's that elite. Period. It doesn't matter who you play. You're elite.
But he's a rookie in his first playoff game.
But again, Didge, we were not making any of these excuses when Mac Jones was on that winning spree, and he was playing defenses that weren't bottom of the tier.
I have to go back and double check.
They were very much middle of the road.
Middle of the road versus top. Let me look at the Bills' defensive ranking before I.
I'm just saying, what Mac Jones went and did against the Titans, nobody expected that. Nobody expected that.
Fair, that's fair.
And they finished the number 1 seed. Yeah,
that was a fluke.
I don't disagree, but they did. It doesn't matter how they did it. They did it. So I'm just saying.
They were the best defense in the NFL.
They were what?
They were the number 1 defense in the NFL in total defense, total yards per play, passing yards per play, first downs allowed per game, third down conversion rate, and points per game.
Okay.
So this was a dominant defense, and also playing in the first playoff game.
Okay. And I'm saying this year the pressure is on because you do need to get better. Josh Allen is very young. The man's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Fair. I'm saying you're saying because the last time we saw you looked silly. Where it's like it was your first playoff game. Bill Belichick made a living off seeing young players in their first playoff game and making them look silly. Mm-hmm. I think at one point his record was like 24-25-0.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think he's only lost to rookie quarterbacks now like 5 times.
Not even just rookie quarterbacks. It was something stupid like quarterbacks under 25 in the playoffs or something like that. Like it was something stupid.
But that's why I'm saying my pressure meter is very high because they're talking about Zach Wilson might take a step forward. They're talking about now that Tua has a legit offense, he could take a step forward. And you were just saying the Bills had a top 5 defense. That was without Tre'Davious White. The motherfucker will be back. So I'm like, that defense doesn't look like it'll get worse. You're talking about Miami looks like they'll get better, and we struggled against Miami, losing to them twice last year.
And I get
and
that.
Mac Jones played poorly in both of those games.
There is no pressure on Mac Jones. I'm saying you can't use because the last time you looked silly. Not most people look silly against this defense.
I get you. I do get you. But again, I would give you that if it was the Colts that they got embarrassed by, or it was the Chiefs that they got embarrassed by, or the Chargers. The Bills are in your division. It's not getting any easier going forward. So that's why I'm saying, to me, I judge that way more.
We also can't judge last year's defense on what this year's defense is going to be. We've seen defenses who were dominant one year bring almost everybody back. Matter of fact, take a step forward on paper, and they come back and it just doesn't gel.
That's what the Bucs did. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The problem is that the defense wasn't your biggest issue. It was the offense that was shitting all over you, right? So I'm like, now it's the idea
that pressure's not on Mac Jones. That's on the defense.
No. They are talking about, and did you hear the same things? New England might be the 4th best team in the AFC East. So you're not only competing against beating these teams, you're competing against being better than Tua, being better than Zach, and being at least close to Josh Allen.
Which is why I think the pressure's on your coach.
Here's my problem. If Mac, and look, I'm talking individually. I'm not saying Mac Jones needs to get me to 11-3 or some weird shit like that. I need to see his game elevate, because if Zach Wilson elevates or Tua elevates, they are all under 25 or at least 25. So these are quarterbacks that are going. No. But I'm saying these are quarterbacks you're going to have to face for the next decade or more. So you need to elevate your game.
That's an assumption.
You need to elevate.
We for sure don't know.
Don't know that. Yeah.
Well, that's a weird stance to say. Well, they'll only be in the league for like 4 years. Like, I'm assuming they'll be in the league for as long as possible. I haven't seen injuries plague Josh Allen. I haven't seen any injuries.
I'm not talking about injuries. I'm saying players just leave free agency. They fall off. We've seen so many players who look great for 2-3 years. Hell, Chad Pennington at one point looked like the next big thing in the league. Where is he at now?
Well. Chad Pennington had pretty solid years in Miami.
A long time ago.
Shit on Chad
But
we will not shit on Chad Pennington.
He wasn't at his peak all those years.
To be fair, the rest of the AFC East was not in its peak either. they were all very much surface level. They were just like, we're all
it's a regime change, guys.
It's
not for the Patriots to bottom feed now.
That's why I'm saying, if you're Mac Jones, your game has to elevate. So the pressure, because again, they started last year by saying, heir apparent to Tom Brady. So they were already capping what they thought you had to live up to.
That was going to be
100%.
Anybody.
Well, no, there was no talk of that when Cam Newton came in. Nobody was under the impression
any young quarterback. Let me clarify.
So to me, I'm putting the pressure more so at his feet, because this is the first day of the rest of your life. This year 2 is what they will judge a lot of you by. Now, if year 2 you fuck up and year 3 you're an MVP, no one will care. But year 2 is what they're going to look at and judge you extremely harsh by. Extremely harsh.
I disagree, because if the defense pulls what they did last year and peak, let's say week 10, maybe week 11, and then just slowly decline, Mac Jones can have the greatest MVP year ever. That defense was a liability.
I get you, Didge, but again, all those games where New England lost, they weren't the best Mac Jones games.
But it also wasn't a stellar defensive game.
No, but again, if your team is giving up points but you're not scoring any, come on, Didge. He's not absolved.
So he's not. But I'm saying the more pressure is, neither side of the ball was performing
good. Yes, but here's the problem.
So that's why I said it's
the problem,
coach.
You need a good quarterback to win really anything, right? So, even if your defense is good, you're going to come up against a quarterback that's just better than your defense. So you need a competent,
10
really good quarterback that can stay on par.
10 games. That's the thing. Everybody's acting like he just was flat out trash. He won us 10 games. Yes, he needs to take a step forward. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the defense didn't do us any favors.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense continuously became more and more of a liability as the season went on.
Mm-hmm.
So if he at base level can do same thing what he did last year, let's say he gets us another 8 or 9 games. If the defense is holding us back those rest of those games, that's not his fault. Like, you need your coach telling you.
I get you, but that's not an excuse we give to any other quarterback.
Look, you guys, welcome to purgatory. That's what it feels like.
No, we still made the playoffs. That's not purgatory.
Yeah, we definitely still made the playoffs.
That's not purgatory.
We didn't win a championship.
Hey, we made the playoffs, and we didn't even have to win our division to do so.
Yeah.
That's a win. That's a fucking win.
How do you feel about your division now?
I feel like if we can make the playoffs again and not win a division, I will sleep like a baby. I will have no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, because
that is almost unheard of.
I don't agree with them saying that we are the worst team in that division. Like,
I don't either. But he needs to elevate, because again, Zach Wilson got some weapons, right? Tua got some weapons. So they've bolstered both of those offenses in an ability to at least give them a fighting chance better than what they had last year.
I still don't have faith in the Jets. The Dolphins, they were a game behind us. So it's like, sure. That's essentially two things went right for them. They have a better record than us.
Yes, but Didge, here's the important thing you got to remember. We did not beat the Dolphins last year. So however you feel about the Dolphins, we didn't even beat them. So we're talking about if the Bills beat us twice last year, right? If they beat us twice in a regular season, that means we are below 500 for our division, Didge.
We were 500. We were 500 for the Dolphins. I think they only lost to the Bills in the division. Yeah, because the Jets didn't win it. The Jets didn't win any.
Wait, who only lost to the
Dolphins? They only lost to the Bills.
So the Jets didn't beat anybody.
Right, yes, right.
No, the Jets didn't win any game in the division last year.
Right.
And that's right. We lost the 2 to the Dolphins, and then we beat the Bills 1 loss.
We beat one of our games.
Joel's like, we did better than that. But no, I'm just saying, to me, like I said, I wouldn't give that to any other quarterback. And we've seen numerous quarterbacks, good or bad, have to overcome bad defenses. Look, I watched the Chargers lose a game they should have never fucking lost against the Raiders. But everybody, at the end of the day, they hung that on Justin Herbert. You just got to do more. You just have to.
I didn't hear anybody say that.
I 100% heard people saying that the very next day. They weren't giving credit to Carr. They were saying, if you're Herbert, there were a few possessions where you just dropped the ball. You have to do better. And that's where he's going to have to excel this next season. You can't be losing games like that against the Raiders.
I heard more so like how did it was bad management by the coach. That's like I said.
Oh, to end the game, sure. But what happened the whole first to get you to the fourth? That wasn't on the coach. That's on the player.
They put them in a position to win, and then he just mismanaged it.
That Raiders defense is not good enough to believe it stopped Justin Herbert. That's all I'm saying. I watched Joe Burrow go in there and go, Raiders?
That's
what the
fair.
fuck y'all talking about, Raiders? Get them the fuck out of here. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
But I don't disagree that there's a lot at Bill's feet. I just think for the future of Mac Jones, it starts now. It starts right now. I mean, shit, Joel, you live in a market to where year 2, they were just like, this Daniel Jones guy, I get the fuck out of here. And me and you were saying,
I was also his rookie year, too.
Yeah, we're saying, like,
that was
2 years. Like y'all gotta maybe let him grow? Yeah. No. It's over.
There is no patience over there. Last year, he wasn't even part of the offense because he was hurt, and they were still blaming it on him. I'm like, that's not even his fault. That was the worst offense I've ever seen in my entire life.
And Joel's not just talking the fan base. That was a lot of sports pundits that were saying, well, the clock is ticking on Daniel Jones. It's like, how? Has he been given a position to win for you to put the clock on him? So I'm saying if they do that with this kid, I definitely can look at Mac Jones and go, well, your second year, you gotta kick it up. You gotta fucking kick it up.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying. You gotta, because again, look at this. We cannot look at his offense and say that man has no help. That's all I'm saying. So if there are games where he's not, and again, Didge, like I said before, I don't put wins on the shoulders of Mac Jones. I'm talking about individually. If you do your job, Juwan has to sit back and shut up. But it's you not doing your job that happened a little bit too much. And that's not. That happened a little bit too much in the opposite way this past season. And he is a rookie. I get it. I do. But that's how much you need to improve. Getting Devontae Parker is big. We heard a lot of good things in practice about Thornton. We heard that Jonnu's taking a step forward, and we know we needed that big time last year. Hunter Henry was old reliable, right? Like he was like poor man's Gronk last year for us in the end zone. So I'm like, you have the weapons to get the job done. This is the year that there is no offense again, unless barring guys get injured for the full season or some shit like that. No excuse. And you got Ramondre and Damian Harris.
That's a name. Jesus. All right.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevens.
Ramondre Stevens, yeah.
I've seen some fucked up name. That's
not a weird name. There was a guy in the NFL named DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
I remember it was a Jet. Name. I remember when he got drafted. You don't forget that name.
Hell no, you don't. That name was so wild, Key and Peele had to make fun of it on the show. Yeah. Like, that was a wild ass name.
There's some wild names out there.
There are. But all right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about basketball. All right, so this one I thought was going to be fun. What player under 25 has the best chance to be the next face of the NBA?
Excuse me, what was the question again?
What player under 25 has the best chance to be the next face of? It's not hard. You look at guys like Luka, that's under 25. Jason Tatum, I think he's just 25.
I don't remember the fucking ages.
To me, I feel like it has to be Luka. It just has to fucking be Luka. It just has to be. I don't know of any player under 25 I believe is better than Luka Doncic. I just don't. I really don't.
I don't think it'll be Luka because I don't think the NBA is gonna allow a non-American player to be the face of their league.
Excuse me?
I don't know who the fuck's gonna step up then.
They better do something about it then.
It might be Tatum or Ja, but that
Ja is definitely like fucking. They love dicking right that motherfucker. I tell you that.
It might be Tatum or Ja.
To me, I don't know if it could be Ja because I need to see that health not become an issue going forward. And Jason Tatum, sure. Could it be him? Sure. Absolutely. Isn't he just 25? Like, he just turned 25.
I don't know. That's what I was checking. That's why.
I think he just turned Jason Tatum. I think he just turned 25.
Yeah, he's at that border.
Yeah, he's almost over this age requirement.
24.
Oh, he's only 24. So he'll be 25
this year.
Yeah, got you. Okay.
So he's at the border. Yeah,
he's right
I'm
there.
about to be 20.
To me, Didge, I kind of feel like you've opened the door for European players to be able to be given an opportunity like Luka has. So to me, I kind of feel like why would you shut it out? Why would you stop them? Why would you stop them from that?
I'm 25.
It's not necessarily. It seems like I would say more so the media. Like, I know obviously they love Luka, but I don't think he's going to dominate headlines like how LeBron is. Like,
what LeBron is special.
Yeah, LeBron.
That's who your face of your league is probably right now.
Yeah, and he still is technically.
Yeah, but I kind of feel as though right now, if you're Luka, the day LeBron retires, right? Door's wide open because we know the media loves to hate Durant, so it's hard to make that motherfucker the face. And who knows, he might go, man, LA Galaxy are really good. I'm gonna go link up with those guys, see if I can go win a championship. We have no fucking idea what this guy will do, right?
Winning a franchise in MLS,
right? So I look at guys, and let me be very clear, Didge. My argument isn't against your statement because again, history has proven you're right.
Right.
You know. So it's not an argument against you. Say it again, Joel.
How old is Giannis?
Giannis is 27, but that's actually the most prevalent to my point. Giannis
still young.
He is still young, but even when he gets talked about, it's only in a comparison of, well, this guy's doing better than Giannis, or this Giannis is great, but this guy just has it.
That's
And
how
it's-
you know he's the man, though.
But that's how you know.
They gotta compare him to Giannis.
Yeah, but that's how you know they wouldn't consider him the face of the league, because it's never a well, you just gotta sit back and just acknowledge it. It's
LeBron will be the
here's
face
the
till he
problem.
retires. Very
Here's
much
the
like
problem, Didge. Here's the problem. I think what gets lost, I'm not saying on you, I think what just gets lost in the idea of, like, it's not bigger than LeBron, is the idea. Remember, Kobe was winning championships when LeBron was just drafted. The day that motherfucker got drafted, he was the face over the current guy winning numerous championships. Duncan winning numerous championships. It was LeBron's league from that day, right? So you go, it's always going to be that as long as he's breathing, right? So it's like the day he retires, I think it does open it up for Giannis. I really do. And the media loves Giannis. They rally around this motherfucker, but it's hard to make him the face while LeBron's still breathing. The man is just the most he's the most attractable name in basketball. It's hard to skip
They put him in a video game, bitch. You can't beat that.
It's just hard to skip. Like, think about it. In NFL today, they'll talk about anything Tom Brady. Albeit we see all the young guys ready to take the throne. They're not looking to them yet. The day Brady retires, maybe. Because then they'll go, well, Rodgers is still here. And then the day Rodgers retires, then they go, well, it's clearly Patrick Mahomes.
They don't think right now all the way.
Right, exactly.
I just feel like the way that you see them talk about even the young American players versus the young foreign players, seems like there's
bias. 100%.
There's so much more bias. That's why I don't think with the way that the media landscape is right now that it would the narrative would never be pushed that, oh, this foreign-born player is.
I'll say this though. Luka does anywhere near what he did this past season. Giannis does anything near what he did 2 seasons ago. And there's no LeBron or Durant in the NBA. You won't have to worry about that, Ditch. It'll be damn near impossible.
Giannis got his own fucking movie, bro. He's gonna be the face after LeBron.
Wait, who has?
Giannis.
Yes. Yeah, his series, right?
It's a movie.
It's a movie. I'm sorry.
It's a movie.
Okay. So clearly
it was really good, by the way. Really
the world is ready for Giannis. Think back when Dirk beat the Heat. The bigger story was that LeBron lost, not that the Dallas Mavericks won.
Right.
Why? Because it's LeBron. But if the Dallas Mavericks had beaten any other team in the Eastern Conference, the narrative would have been put towards Dirk.
No, in that case, it would have been the Heat couldn't even make it to the finals.
True.
Oh, yes, because LeBron's still breathing. Right, absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So do you want to break it down like, all right, what American player has a chance?
No, it's fair. You guys may disagree. I think the way that the media landscape is, like I said, I think maybe Ja or Tatum. I think those are probably.
I think you're right.
My only argument to Luka. And let me.
And I'm leaning more towards Ja than Tatum.
I agree. There's so much on that deck right now. It's just
I think a lot of where I come from is I just feel as though the face of the NBA should be the best player in the NBA, right? So LeBron again is the aberration. So I'm like, I look at Jason Tatum and John Morant, phenomenal players. I still would not take either one of them over Luka Doncic any day of the week. I just wouldn't. So I'm like, it should be the best player is the face of your organization. But if you're saying they're not going to give it to foreign-borns, try saying that 5 times fast.
Foreign-borns.
Foreign-borns. That sounds like Thor's hammer, right?
They might be okay with Canadians, but I don't know about anything.
Yeah, I would say that's different. Yeah, they're not on the North American continent.
Yeah, if they're not North American.
So if I'm going by that you built, then I will go Jason Tatum. Becoming the next face of the NBA.
I think they were already setting that narrative this season with the text to Kobe, that coming out, how he's
dating LMA. Like, there's just a lot about Tatum that just goes, yeah, you might be that motherfucker.
So, there was already, and I think the one thing that made it take the step back was that Game 7. Sure. And even then, I would say more people were like, oh, he messed up. but he's gonna come back hungry now. He's gonna come back. So it's like even then, everything is sort of being pushed to that. And nothing against him, he's an amazing player. It makes sense, but I think it's because he's the next sort of North American hope.
I guess. Even though it's so weird, we don't really need that.
We don't. But I think
we're acting not us, but the NBA is acting. There's just too many of them.
No,
everywhere.
And I think it's more so is you can relate. I think the media feels like more people here are going to relate more to them because you're going to understand their upbringing a little bit more than a kid who peddled glasses in Greece or a kid who played for the Lithuanian team at 14.
I get you. No, I definitely understand you. It is that great white American hope. I get you. I do. But the NBA needs to relax. Like there's a lot of your stars are American born. Like an overwhelming amount of them. Yeah. Like when
unless you're a center,
top
for
10
some
list,
reason there's a lot of good foreign
they come from overseas. But when we did our top 10 list, I think we only each had 3 foreigners in our list. I think it was Luka, Jokic, Giannis.
No, we had
Embiid. That was really it.
And Embiid, yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting Embiid. Yeah,
sorry.
It's weird because Embiid went to college here, so it's like that's where you probably.
He has an accent, so you can't tell.
Right?
No. I just completely forgot. When I'm thinking foreign,
you know what I heard? Because he's from Cameroon, but I heard he's getting his visa for France.
Yeah,
for the French team. I'm like, what?
Oh, that's not fair.
Well, he has French nationality.
No, I get it, but still, it's not fair.
Yeah,
that's just like when Ibaka goes into the
Spain.
he's just like I can play anywhere. Okay, yeah, I'll play for Spain. It's like, wait, what? How?
You gotta become a citizen first. But
yeah, he's like, I have a traveling visa. Don't worry about it.
I've been playing it way. I was like,
Ibaka's like, no. Ibaka's like, no. I'm the Durant of this. Like, I just go anywhere, wherever the winning goes. That's where I go. But no. So okay. So Diggs, you got. No, I'm gonna hold you to pick one.
I'll say Tatum.
Okay.
No, actually, no. I'll say Ja.
Okay, I got you. So I'm Tatum. You're Ja. Joel, who you going with?
Non-foreign.
Non-foreign. Yeah, let's say non-foreign.
Yeah. I think I'm.
I mean, if you guys pick a foreign, though, just pick a foreign. Like
no. You make a great point. You do make a great point. I'm just saying. I think we should get to a point where it shouldn't matter. But I get your point of we're in a point where clearly it does matter. So you made a great point. That's why I said I agree. Okay, so I go Tatum.
If I did think any different, I'd say Giannis, of course.
100%. 100%.
But he's also not 25.
He's also not 25, right?
Yeah, we're talking about the 25.
Yeah.
I would normally say Luka. I agree. But if we're gonna go American born, I think Ja. There's something about that kid that these
let Memphis make a deep run. It's over.
They did.
Deep run.
Because they made it to the second round. Second round isn't that deep of a run.
Compared to where that organization was just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a pretty deep ass. You ask Knicks fans if they'll take a second round. They'll take a second round. They'll take a second round any day.
It's been a long time since we've been in the second round.
Let alone we had a fighting chance to getting out of the second round. I'll take it. I'll fucking take it.
I mean, Ja Morant is. They ride their dick and they're riding hard.
They have no choice but to.
They're pushing it hard.
All right. So I like that. We're all kind of in the same boathouse. I don't think any name.
You know what it is? Well, the reason I pick him over Tatum too is because he has a more. He's more animated. Tatum's more team. You know what I mean? He doesn't talk a lot of shit. He's very calm. You know what I mean?
Wait, you like the shit talking?
No, I don't like.
He said immediately that.
That's why they're gonna raise him to the top. Because
I got you. Okay.
Animated.
Okay. I thought you were saying that's why you have him. Okay. I get you.
I prefer someone that's doesn't talk. I'm not very into that bullshit, but that's why I like Tatum more. But I just think they're pushing Ja. That's why I'm choosing him because I see it happening.
Yeah.
And it's
happening. I will say this though. When it comes to shit talking, I'm not a fan of it, but it really depends on the player. Like Steph Curry seems like such a nice guy that when he shit talks, there's just something really fun about it, right? Or like knowing that LeBron isn't the biggest shit talker, but like when he does the pump down shit, I fall for it. But guys that just like Patrick Beverly, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of Because I feel like you're compensating.
I always look at it from the competitor's side because I'm thinking about it as they're talking shit about my team while I'm playing them. I'm always on the defensive end.
It depends on the player for me too, but it also like a Patrick Beverly, I don't like it because it's like, what have you specifically done?
That's why I said I think it's compensating. I think guys that talk that much shit.
No, because Joel Embiid, he talks a lot of shit, but he's also amazing.
That's fair. But I view his shit talking more as like he is a big. I look at him more so as just like a big kid, and that's where a lot of it comes from. Okay. I look at Patrick Beverly as somebody that's just like, I don't really do much, so getting in your head is really all I bring.
That's what I do. That's my job.
That's all I do. Right? That's all I can do.
This is what I do. This is why I'm here.
Right. But yeah, I'll tell you, Didge, right now, there was nobody cheering more than me when in Game 6, I think it was Game 5 or Game 6, Steph Curry was bringing out the put him to sleep. I was like, yeah, talk your shit, Steph. I loved it. I did. But it's the excessive shit talking that like a Draymond might.
I'm fine from a distance. If you do that against me, I'm going to want to slit your throat.
I don't disagree. Even when I play video games, like against family members, I don't like that standing up in my face, clapping him. Like it's relax. Like you don't get a trophy for this. Let's calm it down. Let's bring it down some.
Yep.
But all right, we got just one more topic, then we're getting out of here. And that question is, when do you think these off-season dominoes will fall?
Never.
Or should we just move on and assume it will not happen?
Never gonna happen.
Joel's already answered his. Okay. But elaborate on that, Joel. Tell us why you think it won't happen. Is it because
I'm lying.
Joel's like, I can't believe that. I can't allow myself to believe.
I have no idea when. I just want it to be done before camp. Because I want them to train. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I hate waiting that long. I really hope it's tomorrow. But I know it's not the case, not with who we're dealing with. So it's like I just got to be patient and hopefully something happens because I hate this just it's a lull. And it's a lull because Durant they won't take any offers from Durant. They won't take any offers from Mitchell. It's just like and we're just stuck in like mud right now.
Well, see, Here's why I think the domino will fall is because here's the biggest difference between Durant and Donovan Mitchell, right? I think at the end of the day, Joe Tsai does not want to get rid of Durant, right? Joe Tsai, sorry. I think he does not want to get rid of Kevin Durant. I think Danny Ainge 100% wants to get rid of Donovan Mitchell. He's just willing to bend somebody over the barrel to do so, right? Like at some point, I think he will cave and just give to the best offer. But I think he's trying to, again, take it for everything it's worth to do so. But I don't think there is a second. I don't think anybody believes for a second that man wants Donovan part of that roster to start the season.
I don't think so. Because again, with their end game.
Right, because again, I think people keep forgetting Donovan never asked for a trade. This was all organization-based. Unless it comes out that Donovan went behind the scenes and asked, and they just haven't made it public. Right? So I'm like, that's where Utah has all the power is because he's not yet said, well, I don't want to be here. So now teams are like, well, we're going to have to overpay because at the end of the day, maybe they do keep him. Maybe they do keep him and we can't allow that.
No,
right?
No, we cannot.
So that's why I'm saying that's the biggest difference between Durant and Donovan and why I think the Donovan thing actually might happen is because the Durant thing is they don't want to let go of Durant.
I think they'll both happen. It's just when they'll happen. And I don't know when. The thing is, when will it happen during the season? Like, I hope it doesn't take it goes. That's my least favorite option is like trade deadline. I don't want to wait that long.
I don't either. Especially because I don't want to fall even more in love with these kids than I already am. And then you're like, well, we're going to rip them away from you. Yeah. It's like, well, just do it now then. Do it now while I can't see them.
Yeah, it's bad.
But the Durant thing, here's how you know that Brooklyn's not taking it seriously. Kevin Durant said, I want to go to Phoenix. And they said, all right, let me call up Phoenix. And Phoenix said, all right, cool. What do you want? I want every player you have, and I'll send you Durant. That's clearly not taking the offer seriously. Like, why would I give you Devin Booker if I want Durant? I want Durant with Devin Booker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how you know they're not real. Like, at least with Boston, they were just like, all right, we'll throw in a few more ancillary players, and I'll make this deal happen.
Well,
And
we'll
Boston
see.
was just like, well, I don't think just Tatum and Durant can get it done. Like, I need something else around them. I'm like, well, that's not my problem. So at least there, that's like a respectable offer they were trying to rebuttal. But everything else, they've been like, all right, Warriors, you want Durant? Yeah, what's your best offer? I want Curry. And it's like, well, you're clearly not taking this seriously. So that's why I say I think the Brooklyn thing might become a trade deadline as opposed to Donovan that might be between now and September.
I just want to see Brooklyn torn down.
I agree. I want to see them leave and go back to Jersey.
There's nothing I want.
Like, I don't even want them here. I am waiting for them to become the Canadian Nets. I am just waiting for that day to happen, and I'll be the happiest person.
The Bills will move to Canada before the Nets move to Canada.
I agree.
And the Bills are opening ground on a whole new stadium.
Hold on, time out. What you just said was technically incorrect. The Bills are a Canadian team.
Oh, like,
fair. New York doesn't recognize the Bills.
Oh, fair. Right? If you're saying Buffalo's Canadian, all right.
You go to somebody in Brooklyn and you ask them where do the Bills reside? They go Canada. And you're like, no. But
here.
To be Buffalo fair, not a part of Toronto? I swear.
It's cold, right?
One of the few people I know in person from New York have also told me that Albany was in Canada, so I just ignored you. I ignored their statement.
I'm trying to say, man, nobody from New York or New Jersey.
Your state capital.
Anything above fucking Manhattan is fucking.
It's Canada, apparently.
Because wait, hold on. You know what the funniest part is when you ask somebody from New York or New Jersey about the Bills? There's an actual Buffalo, New York, but if you ask just a random person, they don't fucking know that. Like, you could say Brooklyn, Madison Square.
No one thinks Buffalo
MetLife.
When you think New York. Once you get past the Bronx, you get to Yonkers, that's already too far, honestly.
Right. Long Island, you're just like, is that even New York? Like, where is that? Is it its own island?
It's south of the Bronx, because that's where the Yankees play.
You guys just say you did fuck upper state New York? Like, it's just...
You ask just a random person walking on a Brooklyn street.
This is like the opposite.
Where's Buffalo?
This is like the opposite of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We take that. We say, oh, that's just all Wisconsin. Like,
yeah, but you also don't have a competing. Like, think about it. New York has 3 teams in it. Like, you got one, just one, and it's the gold standard of football, right? So you're not really worried. New York has 3. Picture as a fan trying to isolate where these 3 places are, and mind you, 2 of the teams play in fucking Jersey. So it's like it makes it even more confusing.
Wait, I thought the new stadium was technically in New York now. It's still in New Jersey.
If you have to say technically, Didge, it's in New Jersey.
Wait, so the new stadium, MetLife, is built just strictly still on where the Meadowlands.
Same ground. It was just built over it.
I thought they at least moved
it was called Giants Stadium.
Right.
Yeah,
they had to change
and the Jets were in Giants. It's just fuck. That was
I thought when they did that, they had at least moved it to, like, maybe obviously not in the city, but just
all they do is change the fucking lights from blue to green.
That's it.
That's all they do.
That's it, Didge.
The pictures change. They change the pictures.
It's still in East Rutherford. Crazy. I learned that today. I definitely thought they moved it technically into New York.
No, so when you actually argue it, you come to the conclusion of we got 3 football teams nobody believes plays in New York. So it's like
hilarious.
Yeah, they play in Jersey, and then Buffalo actually plays in New York, but like so far away from like the city that it's basically Canada.
Right. And we're not talking about the difference between Foxborough not being actually in Boston. It's right outside of Boston. Yeah. We're talking about we don't acknowledge that Buffalo is a part of New York.
Which is crazy because they're the only ones that actually play in New York State.
Well, look at hockey. There's 3 teams in the area. We do not acknowledge Buffalo.
Right. Yeah, but to be fair, at least the New York hockey teams actually play in New York City.
That's fair. But here's the even funnier part. You ready for this, Didge? Every time Gronkowski plays the Bills, the announcers always talk about how he was from there, right?
Yeah.
No one ever acknowledges Gronk in New York, ever. That lets you know nobody believes that whole area is part of the state of New York. Nobody ever goes, yo, Gronk, the New Yorker. Nobody says that shit. Nobody.
Where's Gronk from?
He's from Amherst.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from Jersey? I didn't know that.
No, he's from New York, Amherst, New York.
Oh, Elmhurst,
Yeah.
New York.
Mm-hmm.
Again, no one knows that fucking area.
You're
I
absolutely
just know
right,
from being a
Joel. That's
Patriots
what I'm
fan.
saying.
I know
That's what I'm saying.
from watching 10 years of them being announced in
That's what I'm
Patriots
saying.
games.
Upstate New York, it's like, okay, well, that's a different world.
Crazy.
That's
I
a
didn't realize
multiverse.
I didn't realize how much New York
That's a
State.
multiverse out
You
there.
got to remember, though, New Jersey, like where the Giants and Jets play is over the bridge.
Right.
But it's still in New Jersey.
Yes, but it's right
If
there.
anybody has anything to say about, hey, you're not even playing in our state, it's the Bills. Because at least they're playing in your state.
Again,
You
it's
say
New York
that
City, not New York
geographically.
State. When
Right.
we talk
You
about
say
this
that.
shit.
You say that geographically. We're saying that as people that live in the tri-state area, we
Fair.
do not acknowledge.
That's the problem. There's the tri-state areas: New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Right.
And when they say New York, they mean the city. They don't mean the state.
Fair.
Yes.
It's just wild to me.
Yes.
Granted,
Yes.
I've never even been to New York, so
Well, there you go.
We
We're
got
the
to
5
change that quick,
boroughs.
Didge. As
Yeah.
soon as you come here, you're gonna
Turn it
go.
up.
As soon as you come here and we show you the real New York, you won't even want to explore the idea of a fucking Buffalo. Like, like you'll have no interest. None.
all
That's
right.
all I'm saying.
I mean, I didn't want to go to Buffalo now.
There
I've
you
never
go.
been.
There you
so
go.
it's not
There
like
you go. All right, Didge, to end this out on the night, man, how do you see this going? Do you think some dominoes will fall, or do you think these teams will keep their respective stars?
I was kidding before when I said I think it's going to happen right before the season starts, but I'm kind of starting to think that I was serious.
Just
I
might.
think it's going to be like October, and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, they got traded now.
Yeah, I could see Utah going, you know what? Nobody else has a better offer than the Knicks, and the Knicks are not willing to do what I want. And then September 31st comes, right? And then the Knicks call Utah, and they're like, you can have that additional player.
Right. Like,
And then they're like, all right, well, fine. All right, well, ship his ass. Like, take
And
I
then
could see that.
Durant, I don't know. I thought from the beginning that I thought Kyrie would have been the deadline deal. Now they both might be. They may just blow it up mid-season.
It all depends, because to me, I'm like, if I'm Brooklyn and this man is balling out and is not making a big hissy fit, I'm not trading him at all this year. I'm not trading him at all this year, deadline or not. Fuck it, finish the season.
Yeah,
we'll worry about
that's why
it
a
in the
deadline
offseason.
deal will be, well, how is our season going? If it's
Right.
as
Yeah,
chaotic,
right.
then it's all right.
Because I
let's
tell you
get
this, if I was Kevin Durant, I would go to every game and put up 2 points per game. I'd put up 2 points per game and be like, hey,
Jesus.
trade me, or I'll keep going Harlem Globetrotters on these motherfuckers. Like, I don't mind. I'll finish the game with 16. That's no problem for me. None. Yeah. If I was Durant, I'd be doing and one shit all over the court, backflips and everything. Yeah, y'all gonna trade me, or this will be a circus. Like,
this will be a circus.
This will be a circus.
You better
okay?
figure it out.
But I think we all, and Didge, I think you even want it for us. I think you want us to get Donovan because you want a true threat in the Eastern Conference. So I think you know that you need us to be good. So we're all on the same page here.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot it has even the year at the bottom. Well, yeah, let me show that part too. So you know when that second championship was.
Right. And you know, Joel, you know what that looks like to me?
What?
That looks like somebody who's enjoyed victory in the recent years.
Recent victory.
And is trying to tell us, but we had some bad times
We
we
did.
had to go through.
We did.
Go away.
Let
Let me
you
tell you about the 15.
What did you get for it, Didge?
Let
You
me
got a
tell you-
championship.
Let
You
me
got
tell you about
Giannis.
the year that we went 15. That we won. It's a grand total of 15 games.
And in that same year, we won 2 more than you did.
No, that same
Stop
year.
bragging that.
That same year, let me go back to that. That same year, you guys won way more than 2 more games than us.
What year was this?
Yeah,
That
what
was
year it?
2013, 2014.
Oh, that was a year. Yeah, that was Melo's MVP
No.
year. Yeah,
No.
you can't count
All right,
that.
all right.
Yeah.
That's the year we won a grand total of 15 games, 15 and 67 to your Knicks 37 and 45.
Now, Joel, here's the fun part. You ready? Now, you tell me every fucking season after that for the Bucks, and then every single season after that for the Knicks.
I mean, the year after that, we
One
won
got
41.
better, Didge. One
year
got better.
The year after that, we did win 41 games to your
okay.
17. But you know,
Okay. Yeah. And then Giannis became a god. A
no,
Greek god.
you guys had actually, we had the same record the next year after that. So
God damn, what the hell did y'all do that following year?
both
We know what we
both of-
did.
Both of us went 33 and 49 that year.
Oh,
Good
Jesus.
times. Like,
All I'm saying is you definitely have had more sunrises than we have.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
more
I'm
recently, stuff especially they've been consistent. That's really it.
Yeah.
Like if we were just not bad this year, that'd be 2 years in a row. We were good, right? Like it's been a while since it's been in a row.
That's all I'm
fair.
saying.
Because that's the thing. We had the 3 years in a row, and then we collapsed, and we weren't good until like 2 years ago, and then we were like, yay! And then last year we were stuck again. I'm like, we can't sustain success.
We cannot. You're not helping us. But all right, that's all we got. Didge, stop being an entitled fan, okay? Understand that we are going through it. We need Donovan.
Like
Pray
all
for Donovan.
Is pity. That's all I ask for.
That's it, Didge. That's it. We get enough shit as is. Just give us pity. That's all we're asking for. All right, pity. That's it. Feel sorry for us. That's what we're saying. Okay.
Feel our pain.
Every time we're like, man, we got it rough. Didge is like, well, 15 years ago, so did we. We're talking about now, Didge.
I acknowledge that you guys had it rough. You know, it's been a rough couple of years. I mainly push back when you act like the Bucks have been good my entire life. I went through some pain.
You did.
I remember we played you guys.
And I will say, the gift you receive for that is at an age where you can clearly see the screen and know what's happening. A trophy has been lifted. Saying I was born in 93. I don't remember the Ewing years, right? I only remember right after that to right now. So I'm saying I don't even have the Ewing years to hold on to, Didge. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
I will say, the Knicks.
What even is a Knickerbocker?
Knickerbocker's a New Yorker, asshole.
I do feel uncomfortable with that full name.
I do. When I first heard it.
Yeah, the Knicker part.
When I first heard it, I was just like, yeah, because I'm like, every time we listen to Mike Breen, like Mike Breen says that name a lot. And I'm like, be careful. Be careful, Mike Breen.
The first time I heard it, I was like, the what? The who?
They're just like, well, you could just openly say that now on TV?
You want to know more about it? I can tell you more about it.
No, I don't want to know what a Knickerbocker is. Aren't those like boxers? What are they?
They're pants.
I mean, look, I'm out. To be fair, that's just a New York thing. The Mets were the Metropolitans.
That's also awful.
They're
just like, hey, we can't do Metropolitan.
It's just long. It's too long. Knickerbocker is too long and very like.
Yeah, you're like, that's too much to say. Knicks, simple. But all right, guys, this has been fun as always.
I didn't get to say what I want. Hold on, one thing before we go.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to say one of the biggest things, connection between the Knicks and the Bucks in the more recent times was Melo's first game was against the Bucks.
It was, and wasn't that in a win?
It wasn't a win.
Wasn't it in a game-winning shot?
I don't remember that. I just remember.
I think it was a game-winning shot. Yeah, I think I remember that.
I just remember it was his first game, and I remember Ilyasova trying to guard him. It was
he didn't bring y'all a championship, though, huh?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. So yeah, you don't even know what that's
our
like,
big star. Our big star. He brought us one.
Yeah, but your star was homegrown, so you had a chance to put things around him. Yeah. All right. We had to leverage. We had to leverage our future just to get him, let alone to build something around him.
And we're doing it again. Let's go.
Then when we built something around them, we took the whole AARP team and built those guys around them, walkers and wheelchairs and everything.
Mike, bring up the second comment again. Bring that back. That's the one we need.
What's the second comment?
Oh, it's we saw it earlier. It's just another fear the deer comment.
Fear the deer.
Yeah.
I never feared those deer.
Yeah, I changed that to steer clear. How about that? I don't
steer clear of the deer.
Steer clear of the deer.
It's a mouthful.
That's a lot. That's too much.
Steer clear.
That's what you guys are missing. The Knicks need a quick slogan that they can.
We had a quick slogan and we fucked it off. It was Bing Bong. That was our slogan. We had one. Yeah, we had Bing Bong. We had mayors and everything saying Bing Bong all year.
They still fucking say that. That was such a jinx.
Yeah, I'm like...
all from that one game. That's why.
I'm like, and you know it sucked? I was hoping that Bing Bong would turn into a ping pong ball, and it didn't even do that. We couldn't even get the goddamn lottery. Like, goddamn, y'all just don't know how to do nothing right, man.
Yeah.
You should have turned Bing Bong into ping pong.
Ping pong, yeah.
Yeah, could you picture that narrative? Like, ping pong, you got the number one pick. We don't get that. We don't ever get that shit.
That would have been perfect.
goodness, great. Look at us.
Ruined it.
Joel,
Ruined
we can just do marketing for anybody. I'm finding that out, Joel.
Ping
Bing
pong.
bong the ping pong. Come on now. But anyway, that's all we got. Didge and Mike are entitled. They disgust us.
Wisconsin sports.
Yes, Wisconsin as a whole, okay? Just disgusts me, okay? I can't even eat cheese, all right? So that's a whole nother problem of itself.
I'm constipated.
But anyway, I want to thank Mike and Jayla from behind the boards for working everything for us. You guys are amazing. I want to thank everybody that was watching. And of course, I want to thank Didge and Joel for joining me as always. Hopefully we just have some more good news for sports heading into next week.
That'd be nice.
Right? Like that'd be awesome.
Nice.
Like why can't we get an overwhelming amount of good press? Right? It's always just like, here's good, here's all the bad. And it's just like, well, shit, some good should come. Right? So if the world ends next week, at least give me that the Knicks got Donovan Mitchell. That's all I ask for. Balance. That's balance. That's what they say in the Force. Bring balance. And Donovan is that balance. Thank you guys, and you have a great night. Till next time,